Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
How can we help you, sir?
I have a client who I've ordered a 6220 for.
Okay.
Just an exit-only function, and what they are doing is adding their own exterior DT or dummy trim type pull to the door so that it matches all the rest of the doors on the facility.
Sure.
They want to add a cylinder.
Okay.
I'm struggling with understanding how I'm going to physically attach the cylinder to the door or a cylinder. Yep.
So if you look at, are you familiar with the 121 NL?
I am, and that's where I got to, and I thought, okay, now I didn't see how to physically attach it to the door.
Okay. So as long as you're familiar with are you actually familiar with it, or are you just familiar with the part number?
I'm familiar with the part number, not all of what would be a bill of materials.
That's fine. I just want to know where to start. That's all. The 121 NL is nothing more than a couple of screws and a plate. The plate has holes in it for the screws to go through, and it has a hole for a rim cylinder tailpiece. The plate goes on the inside of the door underneath the exit device, and the screws go through the plate, and it acts like an anchor plate, so you don't pull the screws through the door. It's really like a giant washer, only it's got 3 slots in it, not one hole in the middle.
Yeah,
so the 121 NL is nothing more than a plate and a couple of screws.
Okay. And
you use go ahead.
I was thinking I wanted to make sure that the exit device would actually set over the head of those screws in that plate.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it does. So, and what you do is you put a rim cylinder on the outside, and the rim cylinder comes in, and the tailpiece goes through the hole, and the screws go through the other holes in the plate and go right into the back of the rim cylinder. So it does use a rim cylinder. Now, you do have to be careful because you're doing a lot of lifting, a lot of twisting to lift the rods with the key, so you run the risk of breaking keys. The 121 NL is not technically recommended for a vertical rod device. You can do it. The reason we don't recommend it is because you run the risk of breaking keys.
Yeah.
Especially if the first cut in your key is like a 5, 6, 7 cut, it's really deep, then you run the risk of snapping keys off.
Yeah, I saw that note in the catalog, and I thought, well, okay. I mean, I'm going to put that as a footnote to the client. But
what it really comes down to is if this is like your building, or you're the guy that's going to be using the key to open this door, and it's a little tricky, it's fine. But if you're handing out keys to 30 different people, and these people are expected to come in through this door using this key on a somewhat regular basis, let's face it, not everybody's familiar with hardware in general, and not everybody's familiar with with keying and all that kind of stuff. So you get people that are just going to grab it and twist and say, this thing doesn't work, and they just keep twisting and break the key.
Yeah.
So that's what it really comes down to, is make sure they're aware that it is not an ideal situation. It is not even technically recommended. That doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to be careful who uses the key. If this is a standard entrance to a building, whether it be especially like a large office building, chances are, especially the security, people once in a while somebody's going to come through this door with a key. Generally speaking, even like the owner of the building or whatever is going to come through a different door anyways, but probably a side door or a back door that they come in, or if it's a secured building with security personnel, there's a guy inside anyways. So, he's going to be the one that, in case he's got to go outside to have a cigarette or something like that, he locks himself out, he wants to be able to get back in. That's perfectly fine as long as he knows what's going on.
Yeah, the mentioning about how deep that first, those cuts are going to be on the key is great advice, because I can tell the guy, cut these to 2s and 3s, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And that helps, because, again, the deeper it goes, the better off you are with it. The further back you go, the deeper cuts, the better off you are. That first cut is tricky as well. So, yeah. But anyways, that's, again, it definitely works, generally not a problem. One last thing to keep in mind is, just so you're aware, make sure you kind of mention to them, pull the template for the 121 NL. It's online. When you get a chance. You don't need to look at it right now. Remember, you're using a rim cylinder. The tailpiece on a rim cylinder is not centered on the cylinder.
Right.
You know, the tailpiece comes off the back of the plug. So the cylinder is actually not centered on the device. The cylinder is centered a quarter inch above the device.
Yes.
Because the tailpiece has to line up. So just make sure they're aware that they don't just drill a inch and a quarter hole right in the middle, because then you have to shift your cylinder. It doesn't work. You have to actually shift your cylinder above center line a little bit, by about a quarter of an inch.
Yeah, that's great advice, because I've actually provided the client with the device template, and I'm going to now pull the 121 NL off the site and then forward it to them and say, here's for your active door, here's the template for the exterior.
Exactly, and just tell them to note the center line. Say, note that the center line of the cylinder is not in line with the center line of the device. Just put a note up there so they at least read it.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. I hope you have a great week and a great holiday. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.